Hello, I'm Steve Mamakis, Executive Officer of Economic Development in the Township of Old Bridge. Welcome to Let's Talk Business. Today, this show is to share with the residents and what's happening in and around the town in economic development and business. So to help us out today, we have our guests, Mayor Owen Henry.
How you doing, Steve?
Our new code official, Pat Reardon.
Good morning.
Who we had to provide some insight. Again, welcome, gentlemen. Let's start with economic development and business in the township. We have a lot of exciting development going on within the township taking place since you revitalized the Office of Economic Development. So let's talk about what's happening from the branding and the marketing of the township to the overall 100-room hotel that's coming, to the close to 40 grand openings we did and ribbon cuttings throughout the town. We have had a lot of stuff happening, the showcases on business. We've also, with the grand openings, we've touched a lot of people out there. The Old Bridge Business Alliance that we've created that's growing pretty quickly. Also, the job fair that we had that got the residents out there and to help them advance their careers, and down to our property tax card that we're going to be introducing pretty soon, Mayor. So with all these recent successes and ribbon cuttings and growth that we've had, we could talk a little bit about that and then talk about the future and why come to Old Bridge.
Well, Steve, let's start off with going back to the past. I think one of the reasons I became mayor is because I thought we were lacking any type of economic development here in Old Bridge. It was promises, but nothing ever happened. And part of my campaign promises was to bring economic development to Old Bridge. With economic development comes, tax stabilization, comes new ratables, comes jobs, becomes a lot of opportunities. And every town the size of Old Bridge needs to grow. We need to grow, and we need, economic growth. We need commercial, industrial. And you've been very successful, and I thank you for your efforts over the last year and a few months to bring my dream and my wishes to, as what you said, what we've accomplished over the last couple of months with real economic growth here in Old Bridge. And the results are, we've stabilized taxes because of the increased revenues that these people have brought to Old Bridge. Services have been brought to town. We did the hospital expansion. We've done so many really good things here in Old Bridge over the last 5 years that, and we have to keep going if you want to go to the future. We can't stop. Old Bridge has to keep going, moving forward, doing it the way we want it done, not mismatch and the way things were going. It was just seemed like everything was, whatever happened, whatever fell, and it landed wherever it landed. Here now with your efforts and the commitment from the town, I think real economic growth has occurred here in Old Bridge, and we've just touched the tip of the iceberg, and we're going to keep moving in the right direction and getting all these businesses in town, providing the services to our residents, and just making Old Bridge a better place to live, work, and raise your family. So I want to thank you for your efforts.
No, thank you. It's my town as well, so
Yes.
Focusing in on anything we can do for our township is well worth it in the end. Given our business alliance where we're connecting with the businesses throughout the town, other people who have interest in our township who want to come and open a business here, I think we're broadcasting out from our branding efforts and our marketing that Old Bridge is a place to come and do business, and we're open for business.
As you said, Steve, the enthusiasm of these business owners is amazing. When we have these meetings, get more than 80 people come to these meetings where, along with the Chamber of Commerce, everybody's excited and everybody really wants Old Bridge to succeed because their success is Old Bridge success, which is my success.
Yeah, that's definitely true, Mayor.
And at the end of the day, the residents are better off.
No, most definitely. Basically, what we want to do now is bring in Pat, and we can talk about some other exciting things that are happening in town in code services, and talk about ways that we are working with the business community and working together in our departments here in code enforcement, code services, I should say, code services, to make it a better experience when a business wants to come into town. And also talk about the permitting process and different ways we can help the residents with their projects and their rentals per se. So without further ado, I want to bring in Pat Reardon, our new code official. Want to congratulate you on your new position. Tell us a little bit about code and what they do, why they do it, why they're here, but we'll get down into some more finite questions. But,
Well, Code Services is comprised of the permitting department, the UCC. It's also comprised of the housing department. We re-inspect all resales and rentals, all the apartment complex re-rentals, and property maintenance, code enforcement.
Right, in the past, and being a resident in the township, I went through the process when I did some renovations on my home and upgrades per se. I try to understand that process when they would come, they'd do their inspection, then they'd come back and they'd come back again and then again, and I would try to figure out why so many times. So being able to talk to you about it and understand it, I do understand it now from speaking with you. Tell us a little bit about that process and why sometimes they have to come back that third time or maybe fourth time.
Well, generally there's rough inspections and final inspections for each trade, the building, electric, plumbing, and fire. So when we come for the rough, we're looking at the rough stages before anything gets covered up, so a trench or rough framing or things like that. And then we come back for the final. So each time we come, it has to meet a minimum standard of the code. And I remind everybody that's a minimum. And it's for the life safety of everybody involved and better quality.
That's the main thing that I got out of it, is the life safety. So if somebody wants to go and become an electrician because they saw it on DIY
Right.
or watched YouTube, it can create a concern for.
And they can do that, but we make sure they do it so it meets the minimum standard of the code for safety.
Understand. So
That's important too, Steve. I mean, we've all seen the results of faulty electrical work. We've all seen the results of faulty construction with collapses and decks, and we've seen the results of all this. And we don't want to have that here in Old Bridge. We want to make sure that the work being done is done properly. Pat and his department is the owners, or whoever's going to be taking over that space. They're their best insurance policy. They're making sure that everything is done to protect their business, their future, and so that it's done right. That's important.
Yeah,
And a lot of people don't want to go through the process, but it's in their best interest to go through that process.
that's true.
And I think that's what we're going to choose, try to make that process a little easier. So at the end of the day, I'm a contractor. When you get that white sticker after an inspection, you feel good.
Yeah.
Wow, if we did everything, it's right. And you don't always get the white one on the first time. You miss something, and a lot of times it's always good to have that second pair of eyes, look at your work, because no contractor wants to endanger anyone's life.
No.
So it's a process. We realize that, but it's something that needs to be done.
Speaking of that white sticker, how about when somebody's going to resell their house, when they're going to sell it? And you had some pointers on that to make sure.
Yeah, so part of our housing division is re-inspection of the home, make sure it meets the minimum property maintenance standards of the township ordinances and life safety issues. So part of that process, though, is all building permits have to be closed out. So we recommend to everybody that they come in prior to listing their house to make sure that all their permits are closed out. So that process doesn't slow down your closing. And work with your real estate agent.
That's it, the key to real estate agents, because the real estate agents are the ones that have to represent it most of the time.
And there's a process, see, for our residents to go through. You know, a lot of people have taken over homes and work was done prior to them buying it when we didn't go
Right.
through this inspection.
Correct.
But there is a process to go through to have existing work that was done without permits
Correct.
inspected.
There is a process that we have that can make that a legal permitted work without tearing down all the walls and all that, if the work was done prior to you purchasing the home.
Right. And you've seen nightmare stories. I've been told about nightmare stories where extension cords were run for electrical work and
Right.
with finished basements. So
Yep.
we want to protect that new buyer also. Not only
Correct.
make the seller's process a little easier, but protect that family moving into Old Bridge for the first time.
That is the purpose of it,
Yes.
yes. So,
So that leads me into the concerns that people have, residents have, but mainly people talk about that Old Bridge Township it's not easy to do business in here when you come into our town, to open up a business and so on. Old Bridge is not the only town. I mean, being in the seat that I sit in, I speak to the contractors that are out there, and they tell me about the other towns. But mainly it's for that life and safety component. It's not that we're out there to make it hard for them, and I try to project that to them. but how do we talk about what are the things that we are doing now? We can go about the things that we're doing now to help that and make it an easier process for that person who comes in, wants to open up that store, but doesn't know the first thing about construction or demolition for that matter.
Correct.
So,
Well, as you know, we've started that whole process of sitting down with people prior to their work start, explaining the whole process, give them the length of time so they have a planning, and we help walk them through the process. It is a process, it is required, and we try and help them now since I've taken over.
The simple message would be to any resident or anyone wanting to come to Old Bridge, call Steve, call my office. Hey, we're thinking of coming into Old Bridge. We want to open up a store. We can assist you with that process, identify locations, come sit down with us, tell us what you want to do. You know, those meetings are free of charge. And so before you start spending money and before you start entering to lease agreements, come talk to us first so that we can make sure that the road you're going down is going to be the least bumpiest. There's always going to be bumps in that road. And I think that's part of our job, Steve, is that we market Old Bridge, but yet when we do get you on the end of the hook, we pull you in and we make that, and we get you opened up quicker. The quicker you open up, the sooner you can start making money, the sooner you can start contributing, giving back to the community by donating to all our nonprofit organizations. So the sooner that happens, the better for all of us.
most definitely. And that pilot program is working well. It's basically saving them time and money. It's enlightening them on what the steps are. Because sometimes they don't realize that there's that one step in the middle, and they think
Correct.
that's just shutting everything down and taking too much time for them.
Right. Part of that pilot was we've developed a checklist that we give the new business owner that he has to work through. So he has an idea, all his expenses and everything he needs to do to get open.
That's perfect. Okay, Mayor, anything else?
Yeah, just, the problems I think we've experienced were the people who came into stores and started doing work without the permits and not telling us, and then you get the phone call that, hey, something's going on next door, we hear jackhammering, we hear, and then you go in there and you have to be the party pooper.
Yep.
And put the big red sticker on the door and
Right.
say, cease and desist, come see us.
Right.
You need to have drawings, you can't just do what you want, because that's in nobody's best interest. And I think that's when a lot of the frowns come on people's face. When
Yeah.
now they're delayed a month, because by the time we
Right.
just don't review plans overnight. It takes a while to prepare documents. It takes a while for you to review the documents and make sure everything on that paper is where it needs to be and what needs to be according to the code. So.
And if they miss that point, then it creates that whole persona that we're not here to help them, we're not helping them. However, it's a step that they've missed or not followed the guidelines of what we need to
And
do.
in the long run, we are helping them.
That's correct. That's correct. All right. We'll be right back, so stay tuned. We'll be right back with Let's Talk Business in a minute with Mayor Henry and Pat Reardon.
When you're out there, there's no telling what you'll find.
I see it, I see it! Oh, look at you.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Every child needs a place
where they can grow up healthy
and learn and be safe. In the Habitat House, my parents help build. My parents. My mom and daddy. I study. I grow. I learn. I live. Your support can help put a decent roof over the heads of a family like mine. Like mine. Like mine. To learn how you can help, visit habitat.org.
Your seat cushion can be used to grant wishes.
Who said that? Hello?
Really can, you know.
You talking to me?
Sure am. Because the airline miles you earn and donate to Make-A-Wish can help send thousands of kids on their wish trips. So donate to Make-A-Wish today.
You really should, You really should.
And give wishes wings. Because wishes work wonders.
The research here at St. Jude is very important. It gave my daughter a second chance at life.
We're developing tomorrow's cures today so that everyone around the world can benefit from those therapies.
La parte de investigación en el hospital es fundamental, porque si no hubiera eso, no habría ese porcentaje tan alto de supervivencia que dan.
Treatments invented at St. Jude have helped push the overall childhood cancer survival rate from 20% to more than 80% since it opened 50 years ago. And we won't stop until no child dies from cancer.
We are not just publishing a paper, but we're making changes to patient care.
Because we have donors that believe in what we're doing, we can really move our research forward much faster.
One life saved at St. Jude means thousands elsewhere.
Because of you. Gracias a ti.
Because of you,
There is St. Jude.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Business. We're here with Mayor Henry and Patrick Reardon, our new code official. So, Pat, to continue on our discussion, let's talk about the Code Services Department and the different departments within it.
Okay, well, we have the Uniform Construction Code Division, which handles all permitting for new construction, renovations, alterations, and additions. So that process requires a permit. You can come down to the office and apply. There's a certain paperwork has to get filled out by you or your contractor. The staff there can help you. We're open between 8 and 12 currently, and 1 and 4. Hopefully soon we'll be open again during 12 and 1. We're working towards that. So, you get the permit. Certain jobs require plans. We review the plans to make sure they meet that minimum code, and then you can start your work once you receive your permit. You're also given a list of inspections that are required prior to certain stages of construction, and then eventually you close out your permit, get your final.
So zoning component of that, there is that zoning
Yes,
component.
so there's a zoning component. The zoning officer is in our building as well. Any projects you anticipate doing, you should come speak with the zoning officer first. If it requires zoning, such as additions and fences, sheds, accessory structures, he'll let you know if you're able to do that, and that is a prior approval to the permit process.
So mainly, again, Mayor, it's to help.
Yeah, well, we have rules and laws that govern what you can do on your property, unfortunately, so that you don't have a negative impact on your neighbors, and the town keeps a pleasing look to it. Pat, I think you should touch on a lot of, with our eGov now, you can go online and apply for some permits at any time during the day and or night. It's difficult if you work during the week to get a day off to come down and take out your permits, but maybe go through the public, what they can do online. Even the contractors can go online and take care of their business, during off hours, as we like to say.
Yes, about 3 years ago, we implemented an online system called GovOnline. It can be reached from our township website. It's down the bottom. There's a link there. You can apply for resale or rental of your home. You can apply for parking permits through the clerk's office. You can apply for building permits, and you can also apply for commercial inspection, change of use.
So speaking of 3 years ago, let's speak about now, Pat, being the new code official. What are your plans? I mean, you were up in front of our council, gave them a great presentation on how we're moving forward, working with economic development and working with the businesses, and your plans for moving the needle forward in the township.
Well, we're working on a test system right now, but hopefully we'll get the zoning application up online as well, so that can be done from home. We're encouraging businesses and realtors and contractors to get involved in GovOnline, to use it more. Speeds up the process for all of us, and
it saves money too.
Money.
Process is money.
I
Time
can
is
believe
money.
I'm doing a job in a fairly large town and they don't have it.
Right.
And I wanted to do it online. I said, no, you can't do it online. You have to send somebody to get the permits, bring them back, and that's expensive. There's almost a day's work for someone.
Contractors and realtors can set up an account. They only have to enter that information once. Everything they do after that, their account information gets plugged in automatically, saves them time filling out the paperwork for each project. So we have several businesses here in town that use the program every day. Saves them a lot of time and money.
That's what it's all about. The time and the money. Time is money. You don't want to come in and file for a permit. It's going to cost you more time in the long run. But again, Code Services, your team, they're here for that life safety issue, and that's the main concern of I think our code services department. Anything else on code, Mayor, that you want to?
Well, just I encourage people to call us first if they're thinking of bringing a business to town. Give us a call, and we'll talk with them. We'll sit them down. And help them. Help them. Yeah. Help them get through the
Anybody
process.
wishing to get involved in the GovOnline system that aren't using it, certainly they can contact us at our office, extension 2420.
Extension
We'll help
2420.
them get signed
That's
up.
the magic number.
You need a log-on name, right? You have to get a
Yeah.
username. And
If you're having trouble doing that, you can stop in and see me. I'll help them sign up.
And the other thing too is if a resident is coming in, stop at the front desk there. They'll help you through the process. They'll tell you what applications need to be filled out. You get that jacket, right?
The jacket and
It's
each
on
trade.
from there with the jacket.
Just come in and be nice.
Be nice.
Come in with an attitude.
No. So circling back to economic development, Mayor, let's talk about our magazine that we created for our township. A great magazine here, basically highlighting our township and highlighting the 75 years we have. Cheesequake State Park has been here, and it's a collaboration between local businesses advertising, and it tells about the history and who and what Old Bridge is all about, from our shore all the way out to the roar of the engines at Raceway Park. A lot of other stuff going on in economic development, and for the future of the township, we have the branding efforts. Think Old Bridge is our new branding statement for our township, so we want to keep people thinking about Old Bridge. The big thing we want to project out there is, you can't get anywhere south without going through Old Bridge, right,
All
Mayor?
roads go through Old Bridge, yes.
All roads.
It's a great document to see professionally put together, updated, and just remind the proceeds from this document went right back to the community.
That's correct.
I encourage every resident to have one in their house, because there's a lot of information inside this magazine that you can look up very quickly, get all the phone numbers you might need, maybe get to know things about Old Bridge you don't know about.
That's even
because Old Bridge is so big, and if you're on the east side of Old Bridge, you might not know what's going on the west side of Old Bridge and vice versa. So it really, I think, puts a good light on the town and what it's about, and what is really what is really going on here in Old Bridge.
It does cover a lot of aspects of the town. Plus the advertisers that are in there, like you said, it's key. They advertised in there. The proceeds from this magazine went to 4 great organizations in our township to help it. So, so from the creation of it, it did help the community as well, and will help the residents see what's going on. Like you said, I'm repeating what you said, but just highlighting our township, showing the different businesses. We could even talk about the expansion of the hospital in our township that's going on, and we did our spotlights on them as well. So that's a key component. I know you've touched upon them in a couple other shows, but you know what?
Very successful with the merger now with Meridian Healthcare. I mean, they have talks now for additional expansion on that property, and as a community that has access to state-of-the-art medical facilities now here in Old Bridge, not only does it benefit our residents, but anyone around us has access to the state-of-the-art imagery and doctors. And that's really, when you talk about the future of Old Bridge, that hospital is really the main drive in the core for creation of jobs, opportunity. We need a few more like that.
There's
and
a
we
lot
do
there.
have, we have some other large companies here in Old Bridge that are looking to expand, and so the future looks pretty good.
Yeah, so speaking of the future, let's circle to our property tax card.
Yes.
And that was a big one. We got that
Finally.
Finally, property tax card is a card that will be used. It will be provided to the residents. We have close to 20,000 cards that we'll be distributing. You can get your card either here at the township, or the participating businesses will have that. What it does is it allows the residents to go out and shop in town. You want to explain a little bit more, Mayor?
Yes, Steve. The concept is that we want to encourage you to spend your money here in Old Bridge, and depending on where you go, there will be a percentage of your bill will go directly to your property taxes. So that'll be up to the institution that you're shopping in, or the businesses, whether it be a little bit or a lot of it. We just don't know yet. It'll be up to that. But that'll encourage people to spend their money here in Old Bridge. And when they do spend their money here in Old Bridge, a portion of it will go to reduce their taxes. So and they'll be able to go online and look at that and see. And if you do spend a lot of money in Old Bridge, like I do,
I do as well.
at the end of the year, you'll see your taxes reduced by that amount. but whatever those businesses. So it's a great, other towns have done it. I think Old Bridge, we've done it, we've gone one step further by offering it to our renters.
Correct.
We wanted it that it just not just benefit the homeowners, but we know our renters are responsible for paying their taxes as part of their rent, so they will get an actual check back, right? A rebate
That's
check
correct.
at the end of the year. So that'll be cash in their pocket.
Almost definitely.
So,
we have a lot of renters in the town as
We
well.
do. We have quite a few rental apartments, and that seems to be the trend moving forward.
Yes.
With rental, with the ability to buy a house now is tougher with the banking industry and the amount of money you need to put down. Owning a house a lot of times right now is at a lot of people's, they can't afford it, have the means, but they still want to live in a nice place, so they rent until they save up enough money. And this might help them. They can take that check that they save and put it towards a down payment on a house.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of banking industry, one of the main sponsors for the card was Amboy Bank. We had Excel Urgent Care right here on 516, which are the major sponsors of the card, which it's a two-phase process. We need the sponsors to sponsor the card. So, you know, we want to make sure we're patronizing these businesses that are investing in Old Bridge. The other key points, focusing on that tax card and what you were saying about renters, you know, in the township, economic development, and the township itself, we're focusing on the millennials to allow them to stay within our community, to live here, you know, putting those apartments up for them to be here. So that's a key component.
Right. Giving our young professionals who are just out of college, just starting in their careers, a place to live, be able to stay in Old Bridge, and also for our senior population who can't afford to maintain that house on the acre, and who want to stay in town close to their family. So they need a place to live, and we've seen that. We've seen the success of those those type living facilities here in town. So, I'm excited about the property tax card. I think it's going to be a lot of money when you at the end of the year collectively. You see how much money will be put towards tax reduction.
It's been working in the other towns, and so we have it here now. So it's coming. It'll be launched somewhere in the middle of April. We'll really get it to launch. Speaking of the magazine, and speaking about how you can get in touch with the Economic Development Office, the Old Bridge Magazine is online, so you can view this online right on our website. If you want to get to economic development, if you want to see what's going on in economic development, the grand openings we're having, the spotlights, just jump up on the oldbridge.com website, go to the economic development link. As well, you can contact us at obedo at oldbridge.com, or give us a call at 731-5600 extension 7920 if you have any. If you're looking for information or want to find out about what's going on in the town, just give us a call. I want to thank Mayor Henry.
Thank you, Steve.
Patrick Reardon, our
Thanks
new
for
code
having me.
official. Congrats on your new job. I think we're moving the needle forward the right way in the town, right, Mayor?
Yes, any existing businesses that need information, want to join the Alliance, want to join the Chamber of Commerce, it's exciting. It's going to benefit your business. It's going to help you become successful. So, reach out to us. It's a good group of people.
And the Alliance is free.
Yes, the Alliance is free.
So I want to thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Pat. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Business. This show will again be highlighting different things going on in economic development throughout the township today and in the future. So look for more editions of this. Again, thank you for watching.